Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Raka Satria Sidan Aryan. I'm from class 6.3 and my SI number is 28. Today I'm going to be talking about what we learned in the last month of science. So, in the last month of science, we've learned about heredity. Heredity is basically the genes that are passed down from your elders and to their juniors. Heredity is when it's about certain aspects that the elders give to their uh, juniors that are kind of mixed and just don't really have a certain type. For example, one parent might be tall and the other might be short, and the offspring of that might be tall, might be short, or might be mixed. That's the thing. That's the main idea about heredity, and there are many there are two types of heredity, two main types, monohybrid and dihybrid. From the name, you can tell which one is which. Monohybrid is one trait that is given to their offspring from the parent. So example would be, if the parent was tall, their children would also be tall. I mean, if both of their parents were tall, none of them were short, then their children would obviously be tall. That is called monohybrid. However, the hybrid is when it gets kind of complicated. Like it's when one of their parents is tall, the other one is short, then there's kind of like a chance between them. What matters is which one, and also like actually the hybrid is like two traits that get passed down. So for example, it's their height and their skin color, and monohybrid is just their height basically. So monohybrid is less complicated than dihybrid. However, there is also another thing that you need to watch out for, intermediate, and that's kind of the confusing one. Intermediate is when their parents' genetics get mixed. So, for example, there's a flower. One flower is red and the other one is pink. Monohybrid would mean that one of the flowers would probably be red. Dihybrid and monohybrid would probably mean that that their offspring would be either red or white, just like just one of their parents. It just depends which one is dominant, so it's not really that complicated. However, if we include intermediate into the question, it gets really complicated because you never really know which one's going to be which. Sometimes it can be red, most of the time it can be white, and other times it can be pink. So for example, we have a mango. There's two mangoes. One has a big seed and also a sour taste. The other one has a small seed but has a sweet taste. And if they were to reproduce together and they were to make an offspring, uh, it was kind of complicated. If there were if we're just talking about the hybrid, yeah, where there's just two traits, that's the taste and also the size of the seed. We're just talking about that. It's not really as complicated as if they were intermediate. So for the hybrid, it would kind of go like this. There's a majority of the chance that's just going to be the dominant trait, and also like a 3 out of 16th chance it would be the recessive trait. And also, if we were to include intermediate into the question, it would be like 1/16th of a chance of it being intermediate, and the other chance or just either pure dominant or either recessive. So that's the thing. Another thing we learned about are blood types and the mixture of them. There are four blood types: A, B, AB, and O. O is generally the recessive trait, and there are two types. Sometimes you get AA, AO, but the O is the recessive one. So AB is another one. Uh, yeah. Blood types are sort of like genetics. However, they are kind of complicated, but they can still be calculated somehow. So that's all of my things on what we learn in science. of this month. That's all I have to say. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.